Without a doubt, Elon Musk is the businessman with the closest relationship to US President Donald Trump. Following the election, Tesla's stock price surged as investors hoped that Musk could use his political influence to enrich his own companies. By mid-December, the EV giant's share price had almost doubled. However, over the following months, the stock has given up all of those gains. As of the time of recording this video, Tesla's share price is 11% lower than it was on election day. Elon Musk's close relationship to Donald Trump may have backfired, as many consumers no longer want to be associated with the brand. In recent weeks, anti-Musk protests have popped up at Tesla showrooms across the United States and Europe. There have also been numerous incidents of individuals committing arson and other acts of vandalism at Tesla showrooms and supercharger stations. In addition to targeting Tesla showrooms, many vandals also target random Tesla vehicles they see on the street. The goal appears to be to intimidate Tesla owners and decrease Tesla's sales. According to the FBI, domestic terrorism is defined as violent criminal acts committed by individuals and/or groups to further ideological goals stemming from domestic influences. It will be interesting to see if any of the perpetrators receive terrorism charges. In this video, we'll look at how the controversy surrounding Musk has impacted Tesla's sales, and what this means for the company going forward. If you run any type of business, be it big or small, finding the right candidate isn't just another task, it's the key to your business's success. Whether you run a restaurant, a tech startup, or even a YouTube channel, the quality of your team makes all the difference. That's why this video is sponsored by ZipRecruiter, one of the world's best hire sites. The recruiting process used to be slow and tedious. You'd have to sift through mountains of applications from unqualified or disinterested candidates. This has all changed with ZipRecruiter. Their smart matching technology uses billions of data points to match candidates with the right job. As soon as you post your job, ZipRecruiter instantly sends it out to their network of millions of job seekers. Their matching technology scans thousands of resumes, identifies the best matches for your job, and invites them to apply right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers find a qualified candidate within the first day. Their easy-to-use dashboard helps you sort, review, and rate candidates. ZipRecruiter learns from your feedback in real time to help find more candidates you'll like. With ZipRecruiter, hiring quality candidates has never been easier, giving you more time to do what you do best, running and growing your business. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/WSM, link in the description below. And now back to the video. Elon Musk has commented about political issues for a number of years and officially endorsed Trump in July of 2024. But at first, it was not clear how much influence Musk would have in a Trump administration. After the inauguration, Trump set up the Department of Government Efficiency, which is run by Musk. Musk appears to have significant influence within the Trump administration. His Department of Government Efficiency has already made radical changes to the federal bureaucracy. Musk's controversies will likely have different impacts in different parts of the world. For example, we should probably expect a significant impact within the United States itself, as this is where the controversies are centered. In somewhere like China, for example, people may not follow or care about US politics. So you would probably expect Musk's controversies to be less impactful. Tesla does not disclose its delivery numbers by country, but many countries have industry associations or government statistics agencies, which publish numbers about car sales. With this data, we can get some pretty good estimates. In 2024, China was Tesla's biggest market by volume, with 660,000 deliveries. The United States was close behind, with 618,000 deliveries. Despite this, Tesla's revenue from the United States was more than double its revenue from China. There are a few reasons for this. Due to higher competition, Tesla sells its cars for much lower prices in China than in the US. In China, they sell more of the cheaper Model 3, while in America they sell more Model Ys, which are significantly more expensive. There are more Tesla superchargers in the US, and while Tesla has been selling its full self-driving software in the US for years, they only began selling it in China in 2025. Tesla's third largest market is continental Europe, where they sold 326,000 cars. In the UK, Tesla sold 50,000 cars. In Canada, they sold 48,000. In Australia, they sold 38,000. And in the rest of the world, they sold 49,000. We do not yet have any reliable US sales data for 2025, but there is some reason to believe that demand for Teslas is waning. According to data from Car Gurus, the prices of used Teslas in the US has been steadily decreasing in recent years. At the peak in 2022, the average used Tesla was selling for almost $70,000. By March of 2025, the average selling price had fallen to less than $30,000. Today, the average selling price of used Teslas is only slightly higher than the average selling price of all used cars, including gasoline-powered cars. While this is not direct evidence, the collapse in used Tesla prices indicates a general decrease in demand for the brand. In November of 2023, Elon Musk gave an interview at the New York Times Dealbook Summit, where he tried to defend himself in light of some recent controversies.
With respect to Tesla, we make the best cars. Whether you hate me, like me, or indifferent, do you want the best car or do you not want the best car? So I will certainly not pander. And Jonathan, the only reason I'm here is because you are a friend.
Hey, first of all, I'm Andrew, but
yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
So according to Musk, he doesn't care if people disagree with his antics or political positions. They will still buy Teslas because Tesla makes the best cars. 3 or 4 years ago, it is probably true that Tesla made the best electric vehicles, but this is a much more questionable statement to make today. In recent years, dozens of compelling new EVs have come to market in the US. As recently as 2020, Tesla had over 75% EV market share in the US. In 2024, their market share fell below 50% for the first time. This is despite the fact that the US has one of the least competitive EV markets in the world. The most compelling EVs are made in China by companies such as BYD and XPeng. They make cars that are arguably much better than anything Tesla makes and at a much cheaper price. Thanks to tariffs originally imposed during Trump's first term and expanded by Biden, no Chinese companies sell cars in the US. While we don't yet have US sales data for 2025, we do have some early data for a number of European countries. According to Electric, in February of 2025, Tesla's sales across Europe declined by more than 40% versus the previous year. In March of 2025, Tesla launched the new version of the Model Y called Juniper in Europe. Model Y production was disrupted as their factories transitioned to the new version. Also, many consumers presumably postponed their Model Y purchases as they waited for the new and improved version. But this cannot explain all of Tesla's sales troubles in Europe. Tesla unveiled a refreshed version of the Model 3 called the Highland in 2023. It went on sale in Europe in late 2023 and in North America in early 2024. Since the launch of the Highland, Tesla has not announced any plans to launch a new version of the Model 3. According to reporting by the EV-focused publication Electric, in the first 2 months of 2025, Model 3 sales have declined by 40% in Germany and 60% in France versus 2024. In addition to his well-known role in US politics, Musk has also gotten himself involved in European politics. In January of 2025, he endorsed the right-wing Alternative for Germany party, which is abbreviated as AfD. The AfD is very controversial within Germany. Donald Trump is not very popular in Europe in general. Now Musk, and by extension Tesla, have become associated with Trump in the public consciousness. Remember that Tesla has a gigafactory in Berlin. In January, protesters got a giant light projector and projected an image of Musk performing a fascist salute on the side of the Berlin gigafactory. Just like in the US, there have been various acts of vandalism against Tesla vehicles in Germany, France, and other European countries. Would-be Tesla owners who are indifferent or even support Musk may be hesitant to buy a Tesla if they fear vandalism. While Tesla sales are collapsing across the EU, one place where they're doing surprisingly well is the United Kingdom. According to the UK Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders, approximately 4,000 Teslas were sold in the UK in February of 2025. This is a 20% increase versus February of 2024. In fact, Tesla's UK market share increased to 4.6% of all new car sales, including internal combustion engine cars. Political attitudes in the UK are different than in other parts of Europe. According to a recent poll, 34% of UK respondents have a favorable view of Donald Trump. For comparison, a similar poll conducted in Germany gave Trump an 11% approval rating. Anti-Trump sentiment, and by extension anti-Tesla sentiment, appears to be not so great in the UK as it is in other parts of Europe. It's hard to say how much impact this will have on Tesla's sales in the long run. There's not a whole lot of precedent for politically motivated boycotts against an automobile brand, at least not in the West. The most analogous situation I could find happened in China in 2012. In 2012, the Chinese and Japanese governments had a dispute over some tiny, uninhabited islands in the East China Sea. This dispute was covered extensively in Chinese state media. Large-scale anti-Japanese protests popped up in various cities across China. It's unclear if the Chinese government wanted these protests to happen, but once they started, the authorities allowed them to continue far beyond what would normally be allowed. At the peak of the protests in September of 2012, some of the demonstrators became violent, destroying automobile dealerships of Japanese brands and even destroying Japanese-made cars on the streets. During that month, Toyota's sales in China declined by 40%. Many people were scared to walk into Toyota dealerships, fearing that they could be the target of violence. After a couple weeks, the Chinese authorities finally cracked down, and the protests ended pretty quickly. The sales impact was relatively short-lived. In September of 2012, Toyota's sales declined by 40%, but for the full year of 2012, their sales actually increased marginally versus 2011, and they continued growing thereafter. Despite the ferocity of the protests, they did not appear to have any long-term effect on Japanese automobile brands. Fast forward to the current day, and China is one of Tesla's most important markets. Tesla has a gigafactory in Shanghai. It produces cars for the Chinese market. Teslas made in Shanghai are also exported to various countries across Asia and Australia. This chart here shows the monthly deliveries made by Giga Shanghai. This includes both Teslas sold within China and Teslas exported to other countries. In February of 2025, Tesla sold 27,000 cars in China. February is always a slow month in China due to Lunar New Year celebrations. This marked an 11% decline compared to February of 2024. In February of 2025, Giga Shanghai exported 3,900 cars outside of China. This is a shocking 87% decline versus February of 2024. One of the biggest export markets is Australia. Substantially all of the Teslas sold in Australia are made in Shanghai. Tesla sales in Australia have been declining in recent months. In February of 2025, approximately 1,600 Teslas were sold in Australia. That's a decline of 72% compared to February of 2024. Remember how Musk previously boasted that people will continue buying Teslas because they are the best cars. The recent data from Australia shows that this is no longer the case. Australia does not have a domestic automobile manufacturing industry. With no local industry to protect, Australia imposes minimal tariffs on imported vehicles. This has led to a massive influx of Chinese EV imports in recent years. In February of 2025, BYD sold 3,300 cars in Australia. This is more than double what Tesla sold in that same month. Let's compare the Tesla Model 3 to the BYD Seal. In Australia, the Model 3 starts at 55,000 Australian dollars, which is equivalent to about 35,000 US dollars. The BYD Seal is slightly cheaper at 49,000 Australian dollars. In terms of specs, they're pretty similar. The Seal has a slightly longer driving range, while the Model 3 has slightly faster acceleration. With viable alternatives available, consumers can easily ditch Tesla now that the brand has become controversial. Since Trump's inauguration, Elon Musk has reportedly been living in Washington, D.C., and is dedicating the majority of his time to running the Department of Government Efficiency. So even as Tesla sales are collapsing, its CEO is away without leave. At least for the time being, Musk appears to be committed to his work at Doge. It's not clear that he has any plan to turn around his company's declining automobile sales. The last time we've heard from Musk directly about Tesla was in their most recent earnings call on January 29th. Even as the company's sales are collapsing across many key markets, Musk seems to be retreating into delusions about magical and new technologies. In the call, Musk said he sees a path where Tesla will be worth more than the next 5 companies combined. That's not just automobile companies, but companies in general. Currently, the combined market capitalization of the top 5 companies is approximately $13 trillion. As of the time of recording this video, Tesla is the 11th most valuable company in the world, with a market capitalization of $700 billion. Thus, Musk is projecting an 18-fold increase in Tesla's valuation. The crux of Musk's bull case is the Optimus humanoid robot. Musk says that the Optimus will eventually generate $10 trillion of revenue for Tesla. The goal is for Optimus to be fully autonomous and powered by artificial intelligence. It is intended to replace human workers. In October of 2024, Tesla showed off the Optimus at their We Robot event. The robots were seen pouring drinks, handing out gift bags, and interacting with the audience. It was later revealed that the robots were being remotely controlled by human operators. In other words, it was fake. The robots were not powered by AI. After more than a decade of development, Tesla still can't make a car that drives itself at anything near the safety level of a human driver. I won't be holding my breath for a working humanoid robot. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video. What do you think about Tesla? Do you think their sales volume will ever recover? Let us know in the comments section below. As always, thank you so much for watching and we'll see you in the next one. Wall Street Millennial, signing. Without